Hello and welcome to Achievement Hunting 101. That is my FIFA World Cup goal imitation there to blast your eardrums out. Welcome to Achievement Hunting 101. This is Wild West 08. I am joined by KooshMoose tonight. What's going on, buddy?
Not much. Thank you for explaining that. I was like, I feel like you're doing a thing.
I was doing a thing.
And now I get it.
I'm guessing the soccer talk will be at a minimum because you're probably not watching any of the World Cup right now.
That is correct.
Even though there are games close to you.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there are games close to me. But yeah, it doesn't affect me at all.
Yeah, they're playing most of them, I think, are either most or all of them in NFL stadiums, except for the ones that are in Canada and Mexico. They're playing in soccer stadium or football stadiums over there.
Yes, confusing football fans with football. I get it.
But it is pretty fun. I was talking with my wife before we started this podcast, and it's been fun to read a lot of the news articles and see the TikToks or others videos that are out there and of people coming over to America from all these different countries and interacting with us and kind of enjoying the ranch salad dressing or the Texas Roadhouse or barbecue or whatever else they're doing, and they're spending good money and they're being respectful, so it's good for them.
Now that I have been watching videos of visitors or people visiting the U.S. and trying various foods. And being like kind of blown away and like comparing like American breakfast to English breakfast or Irish breakfast. I'm like, well, whatever. And they're talking about how great Waffle House is. I'm like, if you only knew, Waffle House is where you go to get your drugs. You don't go there for breakfast.
That's the same thing. There's all these videos out there. There's all these videos out there of like people because they're playing games here in Texas in the Cowboy Stadium. Mm-hmm. So the people are going to Texas Roadhouse thinking it's like the best thing. And my wife's like, if only they knew. And I was like, I know. We know that that's not the place to go to get your steaks and stuff. But
yeah, and I can't tell if they're being sarcastic, like, or they seriously think that Texas Roadhouse is like the peak of steak in Texas. I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm glad they're able to come and enjoy our country and that they're respectful. And I think the craziest, we'll end here on this. The craziest story I heard is that Scotland was playing, I think, in Foxborough Stadium or one of those stadiums over there. And they like drank Boston Dries, from what I heard. Like they had to get emergency shipments of beer to cover stuff.
Saucy was telling me this. Saucy Slingo, was telling me how all the alcohol is gone from his state, from wherever you just can't find it anywhere. And I'm like, that's insane.
It is insane. But thank you and welcome to for those people who ever might be listening. If you're coming over here, welcome and hope you're enjoying your stay in Canada or Mexico or the United States.
Mm-hmm.
But we are an achievement hunting podcast, so we will divert our attention over there. Some big news has kind of crept across our boards since we last recorded, and I guess some sad news, as we heard that there might be some server closures and studio closures, all of that coming soon. I know, Koosh, you're very sad. If you want to explain to the listeners what could possibly happen.
Sure. So Asha was talking about some belt tightening that's going to have to happen, some hard decisions. They're looking at closing or severely modifying 3 studios in particular that they've listed. Maybe there's more that we haven't heard about, but it's Compulsion Games. It's Senua. Whoever did Senua, I can't remember them right now.
Ninja Theory.
Thank you. Ninja Theory, who also, they worked on some other things too. They did Ninja Gaiden 4. They have a hand in that as well. So that's a little sad. I love that series, even though I'll talk about a whole lot, but I just love it from the NES days. And of course, the one that really hurts is Double Fine. How do you write off a luminary, and just a legendary studio like that? Tim Schafer. How do you write off a luminary like Tim Schafer and be like, you know what? Go away. You don't. I just cannot make that make sense. Like even if it's, even if they're not doing a whole lot, even not making amazing games and doing all, you've got Tim Schafer. How do you trade a Tim Schafer? It makes no sense to me. So whatever. Yeah, so that's going to hurt. But not only that, I think they're talking also about just layoffs in general as well. So tightening the belt all over the place. And they're waiting until June 30th, I believe, the end of the fiscal period or whatever. So yeah, and they're calling, insiders are calling it a bloodbath. It's going to happen, and just battening down the hatches, waiting to see what happens, and hopefully Double Fine will survive as part of Xbox somehow. I mean, we could always get, oh man, just can't think of anything right now. I can't think of the game, the big game. They've got a whole bunch of stuff that I like. Of course, they do have things I don't like Kilden didn't really make a whole lot of sense. Keeper, I thought was great.
You mean Psychonauts?
Yes, Psychonauts. If we can get a Psychonauts 3 out of Double Fine, oh my gosh. Or a Costume Quest 3 out of this.
Oh, that'd be fun.
There's things they could do. I mean, just give them something. Now, maybe they don't want to do that, and that's another thing. But you just get some really cool, unique games out of Double Fine. And yes, you also get a kiln that no one asked for. But still, I mean, there's a lot of potential there, and I just don't want to see them go. Senua, I think I mentioned this last time. It's just I'm not sold on Senua. They burned all my goodwill. It looked cool. It looked like it could have been a God of War contender, but then it was just a walking sim, and it played like a Apple phone game, like swipe left, swipe right, swipe down. Just didn't set the world on fire, even though it looked great and it had cool audio and all that stuff. It just never lived up to the promise. It was just a tech demo. Same thing for the second game. I felt. I know some people liked it more, but and this third thing they were saying, oh well, we let them put that out to kind of increase the value, to increase the interest in that studio, like that's helping them. When more it's like, no, it's gonna put more money in our pocket when we try to sell them. So I don't know, it's not great.
Yeah, going through them, we talked a little bit about before we started recording. Compulsion's done 3 games that we had discussed. So they did South of Midnight, they did We Happy Few, and Contrast.
Yeah.
So none of those looks like sold too much. So, or I mean, how much did South of Midnight drive the Game Pass subscriptions? I mean, I would say probably not too much. It's one I definitely still need to get to. I know your song gets praises.
It didn't set the world on fire, but then, I mean, there was that one time where Xbox was saying, oh, we need games that get awards. And then they got a game that got awards. South of Midnight won, I think, like 2 awards. I was listening to a podcast today where they were talking about the things that they won. It won like a Peabody Award, and some other award, like a BAFTA, I think. And so you've got this game that's got accolades, right? You get the studio that's got accolades. And then what do? You say you want that, and then what do? They're next on the chopping block. And that just kind of sucks. I mean, South of Midnight could have been really amazing if they had more resources or more put into it. I thought it was a good game. It was certainly had its moments, had just like these moments that no other game has had. It just felt really cool with the music and how it was tied into the action. And it's a shame. It's a shame that Xbox will be losing them, and hopefully, if any of this happens and these developers go somewhere else, hopefully they'll get picked up. Hopefully they get to keep making games. It just sucks when you talk about real people losing jobs, especially in this economy. It just, I worry for them, and that kind of sucks. And, but it also sucks that, Xbox is downsizing. Our brand, our choice in the console wars, if you will, is downsizing. And unfortunately, hopefully it won't impact the developers' lives too much. They can find something wherever they land. It's sad.
Well, I don't think it's just Xbox that's downsizing. I mean, you really haven't seen a bunch of PlayStation games come out recently. I mean, a lot of their top sellers have been on Xbox Game Studios games, and so they haven't really. I mean, I know they've got Wolverine coming out soon and some other stuff, so
Hmm.
we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so then we've also got Ninja Theory, which we talked about a little bit about, Hellblade, Bleeding Edge. Again, not really like system seller type stuff. I don't know how much Hellblade 2 cost to make, but I enjoyed the game for what I played for it, and then they decided to come out with another playthrough they wanted you to do on permadeath mode, and that was not fun. And then, yeah, with Double Fine, I mean, I hope that they find for your sake. I mean, I know there's been some games I like from them, but overall, I hope that they are able to spin them off and let them go back to doing their own thing. I think that would be if they have to leave, that would be the best option for them. But you look at it, Kiln and Keeper probably didn't set much on this way of Game Pass sales, and then you've got Psychonauts 2. Again, probably put a little bit more money and time into that, and I don't know how that made much headway with the Game Pass or sales in general. But yeah, it is sad. It is sad when you see that kind of stuff, especially because they kind of went on that spree and bought everything, and then
Yeah.
decided to now shut some stuff off and everything. But we'll kind of see how it goes, and I think just that's the way that the world is right now. It's those AI prices, the prices for video game components or the games themselves are just they're getting too big. I
Speaking
mean,
of,
yeah. Speaking of, we'll get there in 1 second, but yeah, like last thing I wanted to say was just these budgets keep getting higher and higher, and they have to sell more and more, and they're not going to do that with it. Nor are they going to be these games, Ubisoft and Rockstar and all these games that they're putting out that they're hundreds and hundreds of hours. People aren't playing them for hundreds of hours anymore. So maybe pull back a little bit on how much you develop the game and cut the cost that way. Because you can still, I think, make a good game that's 40 to 50 hours. You don't need to make something that's 250 hours.
yeah, not everything needs to be 250, and nobody. I certainly don't want these really long experiences. I like the 20 to 40 range. To be
Yeah.
honest, I think that's a great target.
Oh, amen. Like, and then I know that, what's their name? That zombie game that they were, not the, gosh, what is it? It's not Left 4 Dead. It's not the one that took forever to develop. It's the one they've done like 3 games in it. But
State of Decay.
yeah, no, not State of Decay. No, it'll get here in a second. But it's like
Yeah.
one that they were like, oh, well, you can play it for 200 hours. It's like there may be like 100 people that'll play it for 200 hours,
Right. Yeah.
but most people are going to bounce off of it quickly. So if you cut back some of the content in there, and that cuts back the cost of the game, then you could recoup stuff more instead of putting it in there more. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Not every game can be a forever game, and
yes, and there's very few of those that are. I mean, yeah,
yes.
you look at the top of the Xbox Play charts, and you've got the Call of Duties and the Fortnites that are at the top and everything. But you know, other than that, it's hard to get one of those games that is like that. But like Koosh was alluding to, he was trying to make a little segue into the Steam Steam price that we got here for the Steam machine. I saw that it is $1,049,
Hmm.
and there was some discussion in the Discord. And I've been a little busy with work, so you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. But it looks like that was without a controller. Is that correct?
I think that's true. Yeah, I think that comes without a controller. The controller by itself, I believe, is $80. At least in that bundle. So you can up the bundle, and then you can get one that comes with that. You can also get one that comes with like some fancy magnetic plates that go on the front.
Yeah. So, quick sidebar: the game I was thinking of was Dying Light.
Ah, okay.
Dying Light 2 was the one that they were like, oh yeah, we have all the you could play this game for 500 hours. Yeah, I don't know how many people are going to do that. But anyways, back to the Steam machine.
My next guess was gonna be Lollipop Chainsaw, but
Lollipop? There you go. I'll start off. My thoughts are this is interesting. I think people were we were talking a little bit in the pre-show again. I think people were thinking this would be about $500 or $600. Definitely a lot more than that, especially without a controller. I think this is not going to be what people were hoping it was going to be. I know when the Steam Deck handheld came out that it sold really well, and then they upped the price, and the sales have been lagging. And there's no horizon where they have, hey, we're going to have the Steam Deck 2 coming out. So it's probably still 2 or 3 years away from that, if ever, maybe. Who knows? And I know they're struggling to even make the Steam Deck right now. I know a lot of it's been sold out and not with no possible release date. And so I wonder how much of this machine are they going to be able to sell and keep out, um, and
I
how it's
mean,
going to
yeah,
work.
I don't think anyone was predicting like the RAM prices and all that to just kind of go through the roof. These component prices, and then they've got of course the machines that build these things, and they kind of like build them for these certain components. And how much does it take to retool that for if you delay that by a year, put on some different components? I don't know. But that's
Yeah.
the sort of thing that makes me think that they're just like, well, it's now or never, and it's 1,000.
Yeah.
And who cares? We're not going to sell a bajillion, but we've got Fortnite printing all the money. So that
Well,
maybe they were just like, we just go.
here's a novel idea for you, Koosh. We have, the Xbox touted, a long time ago with the Series X, saying we'll reach 4K and 60 frames per second. How
Mm.
about we just get our games there and then call it good for a while?
I mean, I'm fine with that with my eyesight. It's not going to
Very
make
few
much of a
games are
difference.
coming out at 4K and 60. They're mostly coming out still at 30,
Yeah.
touting it and saying, hey, we got 30 frames per second.
Yeah. How
So,
about we just make good games? How about we just get our Blade game to come out? Let's get our superhero game. Let's just get some good games. And
well, Todd Howard said Blade's doing well. I just saw the little snippet of it today.
yeah.
So,
And why
I
would
don't
Todd
know.
Howard say anything other than the truth? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. So yeah, let us know your thoughts on the Steam machine, and if you're going to pick one up, I'd be interested to see what the reviews are like. That's not my machine. I'm not going to be buying one. I
Yep,
don't have a lot
correct.
of Steam games, but I'm sure you have a lot more than I do. But I guess if that is your only thing and you just want something for simplicity's sake, it might be good for you. The last little topic we wanted to talk about is the GTA 6 price came out recently. You get the base edition for $79.99. The ultimate edition is $99.99, so $100 basically. Thoughts on the price?
Don't like it. Do not like it because this opens the way for everybody else to start pushing their games out at $80 for brand new. Now, granted, I don't buy a ton of stuff brand new, but this kind of opens the door. This is the first game I think that's going to do gangbusters at that price. I mean, maybe
Oh
there was
yeah,
another one that did pretty
I
well,
mean they
but
could probably put it up for $100 on the
they
base
probably
edition,
could.
and it still would sell that. I
I'm
don't think
sure
they'd
they
lose
could
that money.
have. Like they could have gated it at 100 and gotten a whole lot of sales. Maybe not all the sales they would have gotten originally, but certainly a lot. But I don't like it because this means that like premium games. I mean, are premium games going to start setting themselves at 80? Like, who's going to try that and fall on their face first? Like, that's what I want to know. Now, not everybody can do that, but Call of Duty,
Call of Duty, I could see doing. Yep.
yeah, Gears, maybe Gears goes 80. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah,
Don't love
I
it.
don't know if Gears could get to 80 just because it's on Xbox only, but
Well, that's true, and it wouldn't matter because I'm Game
and
Pass,
Game
but
Pass too. Yeah, but yeah, I think they can get away with it. I don't know if like a Fable could get away with it. I don't know if Gears could get away with it. Forza possibly could. Could
yeah.
see them having that price, but
But here's the other thing, right? The physical. I saw an article saying that the physical is just a box with a download code. So forget about getting the
yeah.
disc.
Oh, that game's
You
gonna be
know,
200 gigabytes. I
yeah,
mean,
it's gonna be huge. Of course, it's gonna be huge. But it's just like okay, they're gonna sell it physically, but that's just for someone to put up on the wall. It's gonna be a digital download, 100%. They're not even considering like an installer disc or anything like that.
no.
So just like we're past the point, I think, uh, of physical versus digital. Like I think we're well past the 50% point. I think we're probably
Oh yeah.
80, 90. We're pretty far into the adopters that are just like, nope, give me digital. I don't want physical. So it's just kind of crazy that I just think it's interesting that they're like, oh, well, this absolutely is a box with a download code. And there's just no thoughts about putting any sort of media in there.
Yeah, it's
Very
just
interesting to
again
me.
like we were talking about from the studio closures and everything. Like the games just keep getting bigger and bigger because either they're not optimizing it or they're not, or they're just adding a bunch of stuff in there. And how many people are taking advantage of everything that's in the game?
Yeah.
Like I'll be talking about a game, an RPG earlier, and I know there's a lot of other stuff in it, but by the time I was done with it, I was ready to bounce off and go to something else. And I know some people are not like that. Some people really just love to throw their hat in there and they go through every single thing they can. But I mean, I think those people nowadays are very rare because I look at my kids; they just jump from thing to thing to thing all the time,
Mm.
and I know a lot of other people do the same thing. So, but anyways, yep, GTA 6 is looks like it's officially coming out here, and if you are going to have to put down some extra money if you want to play for it, and that will probably need be neither of us.
Nope.
Unless they do some kind of discount, or if it's single player only, I might do it. But uh,
I think they said, I think once again, I think I saw in something in an article or something that it's going to focus on single player first, and then they'll figure out multiplayer later. But they're mostly focused at launch for single player.
yeah, and I believe that's what they did on 5 because I believe I bought 5 on the 360 and I played a lot of it, got a lot of the achievements on it, and then some of the ones you couldn't get. I think they still had the on the achievement list, they had the multiplayer stuff, but it just wasn't open, I think, for a little bit of time after release, if I remember right. But I could be corrected, but that's just how I saw things. All right, we are going to move on. Uh, let's see, when's this going to come out? This is going to come out on Sunday. You're pretty much going to be rushing to finish your targets. If you are, we'll just go through them real fast. You got the Juniverse one, so you're spelling June with the achievement or game name. That's 8 achievements for the gold. Flip flop has you earn three plus achievements where the game name and achievement name start with the same letter and end with a different letter. If you want gold, you need 10 achievements. And the bonus round is earning achievements in DLC packs or title updates. Should be pretty easy. That'll
Yeah.
get you, or for 10 achievements, that'll get you the gold. So that's flip flops is probably the hardest one out of all of them. So you'll have a few days by the time the podcast comes out to finish those up if you want. We are going to move on to the game showcase. Koosh, what have you been? Looks like you've been playing a few things.
Oh boy. So last time I was talking about Lost in Random, the Eternal Die, and how I was going to get it done. I was very confident. So I may have stalled a day or two and just done some other things. And then when I and then when I knew it was getting really close, I of course didn't have enough time to finish it. I almost beat it, or I almost finished it. I did all the hard things. The only achievement I have left is a grindy achievement to just go in and get enough of a certain currency so that I can upgrade all the skills. And that's, of course, when the timer went out. I was like staying up. It was like way too early in the morning. I don't want to give it a number. On the day when it was supposed to leave Game Pass, I was like, you know what? I'm sure I'll be able to get in and play it, early this morning and just grind another hour and get it done. It probably would take me more than an hour anyways, but I was just like, I need to go to bed. Went to bed, got up the next day, fired it up just to see, and it was like, nope, you're cut off. So now I'm waiting for a sale just to get one last achievement. I enjoyed the game, so I think it's, for me, it's gonna be worth it at half price, or hopefully, 70%, but we'll see. But yeah, so that was a little disappointing that I didn't give myself enough time to get that last achievement. I just didn't realize how grindy it was going to be, how much time it was going to take to get that currency. Aside from that, I've been playing. Well, I shouldn't say playing. I've been idling a lot of Forza Horizon 6. There's one achievement for doing the food deliveries, and it's kind of boring. You're just driving from place to place, picking up the food, doing maybe 3 deliveries, or potentially having to do some skills on the way to a delivery, or some drifting on the way to a delivery, or wrecking things. That's just that delivery game that they've got. I didn't really feel like playing that. I had My Little Ponies I had to feed. So instead, what I would do is I would take care of my ponies, manage my ponies on the PC, and I would let my auto drive on Forza Horizon 6 handle that. Every now and then I had to pause one thing to go do a little delivery or whatever. But just as a tip for you. If you are into Forza Horizon 6 and don't want to do all those food deliveries, you can just set the auto drive to go and make sure you go into settings and turn on an accessibility option that keeps your real world tasks, or whatever they're called, I think they're called stories, from failing, from being failable. So normally what would happen is if you don't get 1 star, you fail the whole thing with the delivery, and that just kind of sucks. You can get to like the 3rd phase of the delivery. If you fail it, the whole thing is invalidated. You wasted all your time. But if you turn on that accessibility option, you get credit for everything you had done. Whatever. I'm not really doing it anyway. I'm using auto drive. So another thing I've been doing is today I was just going in there. I had 2 more race bands to get, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use auto drive. I just dumbed the difficulty down. I wasn't having fun. And I just went in there and I just started doing all the races, and I let auto drive finish the races for me, got credit for them. But I think for the first time ever, I've completed all the race band or wristband races in a Forza Horizon game. So this is the first one I've done that. I may actually get the completion on this game. I don't know. We'll see. I do not like that level 100 achievement for the online, even though they fixed it. The XP scaling was like crazy off. It was going to take thousands of hours. I think they said it's down to, I guess, somewhat reasonable now. I probably still don't want to do that. So they're going to have to entice me with some extra DLC that's going to get me online anyway. So I wouldn't mind that, chipping away at that. But just so you know, if you're into Forza Horizon 6, there are ways to idle it. You don't have to play it all the time. It is a fun game, and I do recommend doing some of the fun stuff. But when you don't want to, there is the option to have auto drive kind of take a lot of that stuff off of your plate, and you can still get things done. So don't hate. It's just that's what I did. But then what I was going to talk about tonight is a game that I'm trying to get off my plate, off my Game Pass plate, before it leaves Game Pass, I think sometime next month. And this is Wheel World. So Wheel World was published by Annapurna Interactive. You know, that's why it caught my attention. And
I'm surprised it took so long.
Yeah, well, I've been playing. I played when it first came out, and I was just like, I think it's going to leave Game Pass. If I'm going to beat it, if I'm going to finish it, I should go back in now. And the developer is Messoff. If you know of the game Nidhogg 2, which I believe is like a fencing kind of not hack and slash, but it's a fencing side-scrolling game. I have not played it. I believe
it's got an unobtainable tisk.
Yeah, it's got an unobtainable. But yeah, that was a thing back in the day. It's just kind of interesting to go from that to this game, because this game is a cel-shaded 3D bike racing game. So you're on a bike, one that you pedal, and you start off. You wake up in the woods, and you're outside of a strange tomb. It's got a little thing above it. So obviously that's the only thing you can do. So you walk over to that, and you find a bicycle that's, I guess, inhabited by a ghostly spirit called Scully. And you are tasked with being Scully's rider and reassembling or finding all the legendary parts that were stripped off of the bike while it was sleeping or whatever. And the way you're going to do that is by doing lots and lots of races, going around and racing some of these legendary racers who have these legendary bike parts. And when you beat them, they will give you the bike parts, which will allow you to ultimately reassemble the bike and let him go on his way and do the thing that he needs to do. This game's really not about story. It's about riding the bike. But that's the backstory. You can upgrade the bike. You can upgrade, I think, the handlebars, the body, the crank, the wheels, the seat, and all of those have stats that you can mix and match. You can also put all the parts for a particular bike, like I think there's a wooden bicycle, and you can assemble a wooden bicycle. But basically, you're just kind of finding the stats that matter most to you for your races, and you're just kind of maximizing those. I think one of the things they tried to make the game do is have you reassemble your bike for each particular race. Like, oh, this bike is it's got some gravel, or oh, this one has a lot of hills. So I'm gonna change it and assemble my bike to get these stats. And I think that's what they wanted you to do, but it's not necessary. And that's great. Well, I just found a bike that kind of works for me. I've done like, I don't know, 70% of the races that way. And I feel like it's fine. I'm not having to think too hard about, building a bike specific for a race. I just kind of do well on the race, or I don't do well on the race. Each race has 4 challenges, and these are rep challenges. And when you complete that challenge, you get a little bit of rep. You get a +1 to your rep. Those legendary bike racers are locked off by your rep level. So you have to be, I think, level 15, 30, 40, something like that, for each one of those. And every race that you take on has 4 rep challenges you can do. They are for finishing in the top 3, finishing in the top 1, beating Tom's time. Tom is a legendary racer in the world of Wheel World. So beating his time means that you're really good. And collecting the letters KAT, which is your character's name, and winning the race after collecting the letters. So that's 4 challenges that you can get per race that'll increase your rep by 4 if you get them all. You're going to have to do that for all the achievements anyway, so just be aware. Let's see what else. As far as how the bike works, you kind of hold right trigger and you move forward. You hold left trigger to brake. You can bunny hop. I don't think you have that right away. I think you unlock that skill pretty early on, though, just by holding down on the left stick and pushing up on the left stick, and that'll kind of do a bunny hop to get you over a little bump. Nothing crazy, but you can actually jump over some railings and things like that if you need to. What else? Oh, there's boosting. So you can hold down the X button and you can use up your boost meter. You can increase your boost meter by drafting behind other riders, or I think doing jump skills like off of ramps and things like that, maybe even just a little bit of drifting will slowly build back that boost meter. But I think the fastest way to build your boost meter is by drafting other racers. And that is important for winning races that are, a little more challenging. As far as the achievements go, there are achievements for hitting certain speeds, for building the different bikes, and then winning a race with each one of them. For collecting coupons. These coupons are the currency that used by bike parts. Beating all the lone wolf cyclists. So like Forza Horizon, in previous versions, you could challenge other cars by getting close to them and honking. In this game, you get close to a specific biker and a little prompt will pop up and say, do you want to challenge this lone wolf? And if you push up on the D-pad, I believe that rings your bike bell. And then you challenge them to a little like ad hoc race right there on the spot. You're going to have to do that for an achievement to beat all of them. There are solutions for all of these things, by the way, on TA. So for tracking down all these collectibles, these bike racers and all these sorts of things, there should be resources that make it easy, or you don't have to just find them all on your own. There's buying all the bike parts. There's finding all the bike parts that are in boxes. There's building a bike with a max for each one of the stats. So that's four different configurations you're going to have to do. Placing third and first in all races. You were going to do that anyway. And then walking 1 kilometer, riding 40 kilometers in 1 hour. That's not hard to do if you play for an hour. And staying at 40 kilometers per hour for 10 minutes. Now, I saw in one of the solutions, it said, hey, just get above 40, pause the game for 10 minutes, come back, and then unpause the game and bingo achievement. I tried that last night. Didn't work. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try it again. I'm not too worried. By the end of the game, you can easily do 40 kilometers per hour around a particular part of the world. There's a solution for that. So it won't be too crazy. I was just hoping to get it easily with the pause trick. Now, is the game fun? That's kind of where
the age-old question.
Yeah, it's not great. I would say go ahead and pass this one unless you have a burning desire to play a bike racing game on a skeleton bike. There's fast travel and things that make the game a little bit better, but I was kind of hoping for more out of this game. And when I first started playing it, I don't feel it lived up to what I was expecting. And it's just okay. Collisions really suck. If you run into a wall or you run into another bicyclist, the game kind of wigs out and you kind of get stuck to those things. It just really sucks. And unlike Forza Horizon, you can't just back up using the Y button and then to before the accident and then continue. If you have a really bad wreck, you're going to start the race over again. each race takes about 2 minutes to 5 minutes at the most. Typically, they're in the 2 to 3 minute range. So it's not the worst thing in the world to reset the race. But yeah, the game's not as much fun as I was hoping it would be initially. So, and like I said, unless you have a burning desire to get all the Game Pass games done, like I kind of do sometimes, you might want to skip this one. But yeah, I'm not as high on this as I was hoping to be. And if I had to recommend it, I would say, yeah, unless you really want to do it, I would stay away from this one. You can sit this one out.
Yeah. So you think it's going to be leaving next month?
I think it's going to be leaving sometime in July, either the mid or end of July, according to Bloomy. I think he was saying mid-July.
Mid-July.
So I just want to get a head start on it and clean it up since I had already started it.
Is this the game? Didn't they have some issues with achievements when they first came out, and they had to fix it? Did everything get?
I mean, they might have. I didn't play it a whole lot when it first came out. I just kind of jumped in and dove it. But yeah, so it works fine now. I haven't had any problems other than bumping into racers and cursing the game out when it happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but every now and then you'll hit someone, and it just kind of sucks when you do.
So estimate is 15 to 20 hours. You think that's pretty accurate?
I think that's pretty accurate. I was looking at my map. I've visited all the places. I've done the majority of the races. I think I'm about 80% through those. And then at that point, I'll just be doing cleanup, making sure I go find all the things, looking at a map. I'm not really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Looking at a map, going to a place, getting a thing. But yeah, so I'm getting pretty close, I think, to the cleanup phase. And I'm not going to let this one pass me by like I did with my other game, The Lost in Random. So I'm going to get this one done ahead of time. I'm not going to save it to the last minute.
Have you played this on your Ally at all? I see it's handheld compatible.
Yeah, I have not. I just, I don't have, this is the type of game that would be fine on that because there's not a whole lot of reading to do. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of actiony. But yeah, I just haven't had the need to.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I haven't been on vacation. So if I were to go on vacation and this thing were coming up, if the clock, was ticking, I could definitely see playing this one on the handheld. It wouldn't be that bad, except for in the hunting down phase. That wouldn't be fun. Let's have a 2-screen experience.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is Wheel World. Any other last thoughts on it at all?
Nope.
All right. With that ringing endorsement, I'll probably kind of feel the same way it sounds like as you did, because I'm going to be talking about Star Wars Outlaws. Now, I know you talked about this like a year ago or so, I believe.
The base game, yes.
The base game, yeah. So I have finished the base game. I have finished the 2 DLCs with achievements. Let me pull up and see how long my time is. So it says about a little under 60 hours. This was one of the games that I was kind of waiting for that gold edition to go on sale with the DLCs and everything, and then it got added to Game Pass, so I started it, and they ended up having a sale. I mean, they have sales every once in a while on the season pass, so I bought a sale with the season pass, and so I had access to all of the achievements and everything. And I kind of feel the same way as you do for Wheel World. It just feels like this had potential to be a good game, and it just missed the mark overall. I feel like that was kind of your sentiment too when you played it. Is that right?
I remember thinking it wasn't exactly what I wanted. I wanted more kind of Jedi, but I thought it was. In the end, I enjoyed it. I'll put it that way. In the end, I enjoyed the base game. I was not looking forward to playing more Sabacc, and I haven't really paid attention to what the other DLC is. But maybe you can talk a little bit about what they entail. Hopefully, it's not just sitting there at the Sabacc table.
But, no, neither of the DLCs is you sitting there playing Sabacc, and that's the main focus.
Good.
So, Star Wars Outlaws, it is a Ubisoft published game developed by Massive Entertainment. Pull them up real fast. They've done Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, Division 2, and Division 1, and it looks like they're going to do Division 3. So Um, they, I guess, wanted to do a Star Wars game, but not have it be anything to do with Jedi or anything, which is fine. Like I knew that going in, and I was looking forward to having kind of a different, different part of the galaxy to play with. So this you play as the main character's name is Kay Vess. She wants to kind of be like a bounty hunter type thing. That's kind of what she wants to do. You kind of get a little bit of her backstory throughout the game with her mom, how she gets her creature that you'll see on the box art and everything. Um, so she gets recruited, or she decides to kind of do this job in the beginning. The first, I would say probably the prologue. It goes wrong as it always does, to set up everything. But she does get access to a ship in that from that prologue, and she goes over to her first planet and kind of starts the story from there, where she wants to build herself up. She's kind of wanted by the Empire because of what she did in the prologue, and that. So because of that, she gets recruited to steal something from a empire leader, his in his vault, and so you're tasked with basically finding your team to perform this task, and uh, basically that's a little bit of an outline without spoiling stuff of the story. Um, so overall, I mean, this is a, third-person shooter. There are some stealth elements to it, and it's definitely open world because you can kind of do things at your own pace. Now, from the beginning of the game, I know a lot of people were having difficulties because of the stealth aspect of it, where you were supposed to do stealth in certain parts of the mission, and if you didn't do it, it was like an automatic failure. So they have with some of the updates that they've done, they've taken all of that stuff out. So you can go guns blazing in there. You can go stealth. You can do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. You're not going to fail the mission. You're not going to get stuck in spots. There is no difficulty achievements, so you can play on whatever difficulty you want. There are um, accessibility options if you want to do that, which I would recommend on some things just to make it easier. But I mean, if you want to go do it whatever way you want to do it, it's fine with me. Doesn't matter one bit. But there are those options available to make it easier. A lot of, I would say, about a quarter of the achievements are probably related to the story. Just as you go through the story, you'll get different achievements. One of the main aspects of the game is that you're going to be introduced to, I believe there's four. Let me just check real fast. I believe there's four bounty uh, factions that you'll be introduced to. You need to perform missions or tasks that will increase your reputation with those factions to be able to get achievements through them. The ways that you can do that is by doing missions. You can find little data pads that contain information from stolen from the Empire. That will help boost it. You can find black market dealers to buy said information as well instead of finding it in the open world. You can do all of that. You can go to one of the factions, uh, stores or something, sell it to them, and then you'll get an increase or boost in your reputation. You need to get each of them to the excellent, which is not that hard to do. And there are easy ways and guides to show you if you want to just knock it out and be done with it. But by the end, I had all of them in excellent, like all the way at the end, excellent, and it wasn't that hard. Some of the choices you make will alter that reputation. So maybe like if you're doing one for the huts, it may give you an increase in that, but it might lower your Crimson Dawn reputation, stuff like that. So both things will kind of even itself out over time, though. But just be aware that there are the options where sometimes you'll do actions and they'll help you with one faction but hurt you on another one. There you can pretty much upgrade just about everything you want on K. You can upgrade her clothing. We'll give you different options on how you shoot or maybe your stealth aspects, different things. So those are found by getting different clothing and everything on there. So you'll need to upgrade a blaster module for an achievement all the way to the max. Um, on the different planets that you visit, there'll be Imperial little side stations. You'll If you start killing, stormtroopers, which you can do just for fun if you want to, you'll get a wanted level. There's some achievements tied to this wanted level, and there are plenty of guides out there to show you how to easily get that done. for some of those miscellaneous achievements. As far as like upgrades and RPG, there are you can upgrade K Bess's abilities. There's also ways through doing little side missions that you can upgrade different abilities for her. So it's not just related to her level. There's really not like a level system in this game like other RPGs. It's more based off of where you are at in the story, how much that'll increase your, whatever ability you want uh, to do. And so usually those are done by meeting powerful people in there through the story. Most of them are story related. Like you'll meet Lando Calrissian, and so when you meet him fully, you'll get access to, hey, you need to go, like win a sabacc game, and that'll be one of the requirements for an ability. And so you'll tick that off, and then you need to spend a certain amount of money at the faction store, and so you do that, and it'll tick another mark off. And once you do two or three of them, that ability will be unlocked for you to do. And then each person that you meet, I think there's like 9 people, if I remember right, maybe 10, 9 or 10 people that are more like main side characters. As you do these different actions with them, you'll unlock different abilities that can help you out. So that's kind of more what they're doing instead of like a traditional, hey, we've got enough experience, we're going to go from level 1 to level 2, and now you have access to points and do that. So, uh, yeah, I would say the story is about a 25-ish, 20 to 25 hour story if you're just going straight through. There's plenty of side missions. There's plenty of bounty hunter faction missions as well. Had a I never had a point where I was like, okay, where my next mission is going to be at, so I can increase the faction. There's plenty of brokers on all the planets to get you any kind of missions that you need to. Most of them are about 5 to 10 minutes long. Some of them you have to go into space with your starship to do it. So your ship is part of the story mode. So it's not a very big area outside the planet, but it is an area where you can fly around and you can shoot other spaceships, and you'll have access to missiles and a shield and everything. So you'll do some missions, fight TIE fighters or other bounty hunter ships or pirates and stuff like that. So I would say overall the ship aspect was not very smooth. I don't know if you have any. What are your thoughts on the ship, Koosh?
Yeah, I wanted the ship combat to be better. I enjoyed it. I was like, oh man, if they had put more into this, like the ship combat could have been really cool.
Yeah, I felt it was kind of clunky moving around. It was not very good. Luckily, you don't have to do too much in it if you don't want to, but yeah, it wasn't very good. But a lot of the miscellaneous achievements you can just kind of get on the way as you play it. I don't remember. I don't think anything is locked out, but I'm trying to scroll through it right now. I don't believe anything's really, you're locked out of it. You'll have chests or computer terminals that you'll need to unlock. And as you do that with your data spike or slicing it, you will get achievements after doing a certain number of those. Um, so your little character creature's name's Nyx. You'll have to do some stuff with him to get achievements as well. So make sure that as you're playing, that you're just kind of slowly working your way up through that. But yeah, most of it again is just a lot of it is just play the game and do some side stuff. You'll get a lot of the achievements in there, and if you don't, a lot of them have guides to do them whenever you want. When you finish the story, you kind of go into just a free roam part to clean up anything that you want to. But I don't really see anything that's you would be locked out of. Um, so that's kind of the base game. So there is 2 DLCs. There's one called Wild Card, and this one is having you track down uh, a criminal sabacc game that's being played on a ship that kind of moves around quite a bit and everything. And you do have to play sabacc in the tournament, but it's not like, I think it's kind of scripted events. It's not really like, hey, I lost, I'm out kind of thing. I never failed myself. I'm not that good of a player on it, but my kids were enjoying it. They like when I started playing it at the end of the game and the playthroughs and everything. They sat down and had a fun time, and I was trying to explain the rules to them, and they were helping me out and everything. So maybe your kids will enjoy it too. The other one is called A Pirate's Fortune. This has to kind of deal with meeting another character. who tells you that they know where a pirate's treasure's at and everything. So you kind of just go with him to do it. Most of those achievements on the Pirate's Fortune DLC are story related. I think there's one that's not, but it's very easily being able to do. Oh, well, there's one at a base that you need to go talk with someone and help them out finish a poem, and then the other one is just having to do a mission with a new starship. But that can easily be done after you're done with the DLC. So again, I don't think any of these achievements lock out. I think you can get them in any order you want to, and uh, even after the end of the game, if you just want to go through the story first and then clean up afterwards, you can easily do that. Um, so yeah, that's Star Wars Outlaws. Again, it's kind of one that, I mean, if you kind of like the aspect of Star Wars, you might enjoy it a little bit more. But as a just a standard RPG, I would say, or third person shooter, maybe not quite RPG, I would say possibly pass it. I mean, it was one that I had a little bit higher hopes for, and it didn't really deliver for me. But I enjoy Star Wars, so I'm a sucker for Star Wars. So I was glad it was on Game Pass and I could kind of try it out with the low price of like $7 or $8 for the season pass. So, but
What's
any
funny is that I
questions or
spent
anything?
90 hours playing that game just for the base game. And that was back when, you had to stealth, because I played it at launch.
That's probably why.
Yeah, and there weren't guides then either, I think, initially. By the time, people went faster than me for sure. So there were solutions by the time I needed them, I think. But yeah, I see you completed that and the DLC in like 58 hours. So
Yeah, I didn't really use. There's no walkthrough, so I didn't really use a walkthrough because I think I went on some trophy site and saw that there was no missables. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna play and get what I can get when I can get it.
yeah.
And I just
Did you
kind of
do
did.
stealth at all, or did you just go guns blazing?
I did do stealth, but a lot of times it's like I felt like there'd be times where I'm like, under or behind a computer board or something, and they'd be like, "Oh,
Mhm.
hey, what are you doing there?" And I'm like, "How did you even see me? I'm sitting here well out of your sight." But yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely am grateful that I waited and played it later, so I didn't get because I know on those screens, if they saw me, the mission I'd have had to go back to the last checkpoint and everything.
Yeah,
So
I don't remember it being like so bad that I was cussing at it, but there were times where I was just like, oh, I was just beating my head against the wall trying not to get seen in certain areas. So yeah,
yeah, but I did do a lot of stealth on it, especially when I was in heavily Imperial areas. I definitely would just, I don't, I was like, I don't need 100 Star Troopers coming down on me
yeah.
right now. So, but yeah, it looks like a lot of people, I have quite a few people on my friends list have played it, and a lot of people have gotten either close to beating it or beaten it all the way. So, good. I think it's kind of, if you like the genre at all, and it's on Game Pass, give it a shot. But yep, that's it for Star Wars Outlaws. Koosh talked about Lost in Random, Eternal Die, Forza Horizon 6, and Wheel World. That's our game showcase for the week. What do we got on Game Pass?
Well, in Game Pass for the rest of the month, let's see what else has come out. So Abyssus came out on the 25th. I did not check it out yet. RV There Yet is something I'm kind of interested in checking out. That's on June 30th. Um, July 2nd, we're getting Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. And July 6th, we're getting Winds of Arcana Ruination. Um, don't know too much about Winds of Arcana. Uh, RV There Yet, like I said, looks like something I'd want to play. But that's all we know about right now. Hopefully, we'll have some news here in the next week or so. But yeah, as far as leaving Game Pass, we're losing on the 30th, we're losing Payday 2, Prime Wave Edition. We're losing Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Rise of the Tomb Raider Windows. We're losing Slay the Spire, Ultimate Chicken Horse, which I believe is a pretty quick completion, 8 to 10 hours. If you wanted to do it, you will need, I think, 4 controllers or actual friends. Unpacking is 1 to 2 hours.
Bummer.
It's a simulation game. I thought that was kind of fun. Short thing to go through. Volcano Princess is a management visual novel that's 40 to 50 hours, so no, not going to happen. Mecha Break. Now, Mecha Break, I believe, is free to play, but there are some Game Pass perks. I think that is true.
Yeah, it says download, so I'm assuming that means free to play.
Yes. Yeah, so that's a free to play game with some perks or whatever. So that's not gone, and that's 12 to 15 hours. But yeah, that's all the Game Pass news we know now.
Yeah, nothing that I was going to chase this time. One of my friends did Ultimate Chicken Horse, I think, last month, and he's like, "Hey, I can help you with that." But I was like, I think I'm good this month. I'm not gonna chase anything, and it's a little interesting because I know Payday 2 and Slay the Spire have been on for, and Unpacking have been on for years,
Yeah, for a long time.
and I think Tomb Raider, some of those Tomb Raiders have been on for a while too. So maybe some new games coming to the Essential Pass or something. We'll see.
Maybe the Tomb Raider games I own. I don't own the Windows stack, but I wasn't going to jump in and do that. And
Yeah, me
I'm sure it'll
neither.
be $5 at some point, so I'm not too worried about that. But I was thinking maybe Ultimate Chicken Horse, but now it's almost the end of the month, and I'm like, yeah, maybe not. Maybe I'll just
Yeah.
focus on other things.
Yeah, I looked at Bloomy's blog, I think last month or the month before, and I was like, I think I'm safe through the summer. There didn't seem anything too interesting to me, unless something changes on his blog or what contracts change. I think I'm keep focusing on finishing up whatever or starting or whatever, doing whatever I want to do, I guess. But
Yeah,
any notable brags or anything that you saw?
I don't recall any brags.
Let me pull it up real fast and see if we've got anything. Looks like Big L and Matriarch and J Block all finished Goat Simulator 3.
That's one way to say it. I think J Black and Matriarch carried L through Goat
That's
Simulator. Is probably the way it actually went down.
Yeah, that is true. I did see, I guess, as a little bit of a brag camp, that PlayStation got rid of a bunch of AFIL games.
Yes, and don't you hope that Xbox will do
We'll
it as
see.
well?
Yeah, that's trust me, I'm not. I know my gamer score is going up, but I am not one to like buy the new game, three versions of the new game every single week. I props to those people that do because that's
Now,
quite a bit of money.
one thing I saw that was interesting is that two people finished the same game within about a day of each other, which is pretty cool. Dish finished Star Wars Jedi Survivor on the 15th, and then Death Dealers finished it on the 16th, which is pretty cool that they probably weren't doing that intentionally. It's just funny. They both did it a day
Yeah,
apart.
yeah. Well, I we wanted to kind of keep it a little short and sweet. We've both been kind of busy this week, so uh, we are happy that you spent the time to listen to us. Let us know what you've been playing, what any kind of brags that you have. You can always tag us. I know Elle is here in spirit, and maybe 2 weeks he'll join us. For the next time, we miss you, buddy. Hope everything's going well. Uh, but I think that'll be it for us this week,
That's not how you end it.
unless we have the top three of. Okay, anyways,
No, no one ends it that way.
I knew, I know. Anyways, thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate it. Excuse me, appreciate it, and we'll catch you later. See ya.
Class is dismissed, is what he meant to say. And bye bye.